Happy Friday and welcome to another lunch break webinar. We are live in Destin, Florida at Panera Bread. Excuse any of the background noises. Hopefully we can hear things loud and clear out there. Today is part 3 of financial fitness. We're going to be talking about bulking up. Like our physical fitness, when we talk about bulking up, it might be taking on more calories, more protein, more of a complex workout, bulking up. So when we relate that to our finances, bulking up, there's going to be a season of manifestation. There's going to be a season of when income's going good, a season when things are good. We need to use that time and use that season to prepare for when the seasons are rather dry. For an example, share with y'all a personal testimony last week. I'll share another one this week, where the job opportunities don't go into play like you thought they were, or the deals didn't go in play like you thought they were going to. Because of bulking up in a previous season, we are now prepared for this dry season. It's not if you're going to go through that dry season, it's when you're going to go through that dry season. I claim and I hope prosperity and a season of manifestation that goes forever, that there's never a dry season. But when that dry season does come, you're going to be prepared because of those seasons of bulking up. But before we move forward, I want to let everybody know that you can go back and see part 1, part 2, and now part 3 of this series of financial fitness on our YouTube channel at Financial Storehouse. Again, that's Financial Storehouse. Go back and see all the parts that you've missed leading up to this point. But if you have been here through part 1, part 2, and part 3, awesome. But if not, I want to catch you up real quick. Last week, part 2 was trimming down. We kind of discussed about trimming down the fat, trimming down the areas in your household budget that need to be cut back. Whether it's we talked about 3 different areas, one of them being restaurants, one of them being entertainment, one of them being your automobile. Those 3 areas aren't the only areas, but very popular areas that if we focus on, we really press in on, we can trim down and start eliminating. If we're trying to eliminate our non-mortgage debt, we use those areas and trim down to attack that debt heavier. If we're in step 3 and we're saving up for our emergency fund or our storehouse fund, we're looking at those 3 areas and trimming down on those areas so that we can add to our storehouse fund quicker. Or if we're completely debt free, enjoy those restaurants or enjoy that entertainment, enjoy those things, but just encourage you and challenge you to stay within that compromised budget. So again, last week we focused on trimming down, and this week, now that we're trimming down and working on trimming down, this week is going to be focused on the season of bulking up. So get your legal pad out, get your spreadsheet ready, or get your paper towel, whatever you're taking notes on, and let's get ready to rock and roll. All right, before we get rolling too hard, those of you who've been here before, I like to kick things off with a Bible verse or two. But today's coming from Proverbs 22:6 and 7. It's train up a child the way they should go, so as they grow older, they will not depart from it. And then verse 7, oh, by the way, it doesn't say that. I just threw that in there. Oh, by the way, the borrower is slave to the lender. All right, so what does it have to do with bulking up? I have a 2-year-old child and I have a 3-month-old child, or my wife and I do. When I think of training up a child, yeah, there's those children that have the diapers, and those 2-year-olds, or your 13-year-old or 30-year-old. But from an evangelical Christian standpoint, I believe that we're all children of God. Whether we're 90 years old or 19 years old or 9 days old, we are children of God. And it's never too late to train up the way that we should go. And I believe Solomon is telling us in this Proverbs 22:6 and 7 that train up the child the way they should go. And here's how to do it. Oh, by the way, the borrower slave to the lender. Avoiding ourselves avoiding the circumstances of being a slave to the lender. So we can't be a slave and bulk up. We can't be a financial slave and bulk up. Now, there's some who have extremely fortunate incomes that are extremely blessed that can take out a boat loan or that can take out a car loan and still have plenty of money to put away in their long-term investments in stocks or in mutual funds. I hope that one day that we could use that blessed income and allocate more into growing wealth into your own piggy bank or into your own account or into your own mutual funds or into your own long-term investment, instead of putting them in other debts or in someone else's bank account. But I'm speaking more to the folks that yes, we're blessed if we have any income, but some of the income situations, we can't cover up our stupidness. Our stupidness being living a life, financing things and living a life with that debt lifestyle. So what I mean by covering up stupidness, there's someone out there making $500,000 a year and they got a $300 car payment and a $600 boat payment. They're able to cover that up and not really feel it. But now you're making $60,000 a year, $50,000 a year. That $900 a month or however much you're using in financing your boat and your car, it's a little bit harder to cover it up. So we're going to focus more on that generalized income situation. So bulking up, again, last week was trimming down. I'm going to talk about 3 different areas on how we can bulk up. I want to run down the 7 storehouse steps first. If you're not familiar with the steps, I want to run down these steps I want you to kind of ponder on where you are in these steps, and it'll relate into our webinar today. Step 1, we're going to save up $1,000 in cash. Step 2, eliminate all non-mortgage debt. Step 3, your storehouse fund, which is 3 months of expenses saved up in cash, not stocks, not mutual funds, not bonds, cash, and only use that for emergencies. And step 4 is going to be allocating funds towards retirement. Step 5 is if you have kids or grandkids, towards kids' college. Step 6 is we're going to throw anything extra that we can at the mortgage. And step 7, the place that we all are striving to get to, is step 7 is completely debt free, where we can give more, save more, and live more. So kind of take a second to figure out where you are. If you're trying to eliminate debt and trying to save in your emergency fund and trying to allocate funds in retirement, it's going to be hard to do everything at one time. If you're trying to fund your kids' college, why funding retirement? Why trying to get out of debt? Why trying to save up cash in your savings account? You got a lot of things going on at one time. I want to encourage you or challenge you to consider focusing on one step at a time. If you have non-mortgage debt, a car, a boat, a credit card, and you're 45 years old, I don't care. Stop retirement. Press pause on retirement. Not stop it. Press pause. Roll up your sleeves. Clean up this mess. Take a year or 2 to clean it up. And then instead of paying those debt payments every month, once we knock out your debt, then we're going to go into step 3, and those amounts that you were knocking out your debt with, we're going to use that to fund your storehouse fund. Once that's knocked out, that amount that you were using to knock out your debts and that amount that you were throwing at your storehouse fund, now we're using that to add to our step 4 or 5 and 6. Now we're back into probably putting and allocating more into retirement than we did before, because we're not juggling too many balls at one time. So again, I ask you this: what question or what step are you on? I ask you this question: what step are you on? Okay, so bulking up. If we're on step 2, a way we can bulk up is look at things around the house. Look at things that you can sell on Secondhand Sisterhood, or your Facebook markets of different counties have their, for an example, in our county, it's Okaloosa Buy, Sell, and Trade, where you can post your dresser, you can post your your whatever stuff that you have around the house, that there is a buyer out there that would be willing to buy those DVDs, or be willing to buy that PlayStation 3, or be willing to buy that extra flat screen TV in the guest bedroom. We can trim down things around our house in order for us to bulk up in our finances. So we can roll up our sleeves and knock down that step 2 if we're in step 2. Or if you're in step 3 trying to save up that 3 months of expenses, same principle. Sell some stuff. Okay? Another area that we can press in on into bulking up is for a season in our life while we're trying to save up in our storehouse fund, or while we're trying to eliminate debt. Get that part-time job or get that extra job. Again, in that season of our life, we can use that as extra funds, or we can use that additional funds that we're having at this season of our life to bulk up. Again, I'm not recommending or suggesting that you work 80 hours a week for the rest of your life, but if you're in a season of getting out of non-mortgage debt, or trying to save up your storehouse fund, let's roll up those sleeves and get to it, and kind of tap on the brakes, let off the gas a little bit once we get through step 3. Step 3 being 3 months of expenses saved up in cash. So we have to bulk up. We have to take that or consider taking that part-time job for 12 months or 18 months to get that debt eliminated, or to save up that cash in your storehouse fund, so that we can bulk up for those seasons of dryness, or for those seasons of where we're not getting the income that we thought we were going to be receiving. So again, what step are you on? Kind of take this case by case. If someone's out there on step 7, regardless of what step we're in, we can always bulk up. We can bulk up in our giving. We can bulk up in our saving. We can bulk up in our lifestyle. From a spiritual angle, really press in on and ponder on where you can sow in and give to. Is there a local shelter that houses abandoned women or kids that don't have any parents? Find that need in your community. Find that mission. Find that ministry that could use the funds that you've been blessed with. Use those funds that you worked your butt off to get, but without that health, or without those relationships, without those things being brokered in your life, you never would have been in the situation where you're at today. Yes, you work your butt off to get those, but we have to acknowledge that people have been put in our lives, or opportunities have been put in front of us that are out of our control. Yes, we've capitalized on things because of your hard work, because of your knowledge, but we also have to acknowledge that things that are out of our control came in front of us in the form of a blessing. So again, whether you're on step 7 and you're completely debt free and you're giving more, saving more, living more, I encourage you to enjoy life a little bit and increase your lifestyle a little bit, but also increase your saving a little bit and increase your giving a little bit as well. Or if there's a month or 2 that goes by, you feel led to just bless the socks off of somebody, do that too. Or if you're in step 3, bulk up in getting that storehouse fund funded as quick as possible. And if you want to bulk up even more and add another month or 2 of expenses into your storehouse fund, do that while you can, because it's not if, but when that dry season comes, when that drought comes. Again, I hope and I pray for a fruitful harvest to come for here on out, and prosperity to come for here on out. But if there is that season of dryness, or is that season of drought, you're going to be prepared. You're not a slave to those debts that are going to bring you down during that drought. Because those debts have been eliminated during that drought, you're able to float a little bit longer, because you have that bulked up storehouse fund, because you're able to be in a position to float and keep your head above water a little bit longer. All right, so I want you to respond via email to me. Tell me what step you're in, and give me 2 or 3 different areas where you feel like you could bulk up in. Whether it's getting a part-time job, or whether it's working more hours, or if your supervisor approves overtime, or if it's selling more stuff around the house. If you can, email me at info@financialstorehouse.com and share with me, 1, what step you're on, and 2, the areas that you could bulk up on. and let's get that. Let's get those steps funded that we need to get funded. Let's get the debt eliminated in step 2 that needs to be eliminated. Let's get step 3 funded, and let's get bulked up. Thanks for joining another lunch break webinar. It's a beautiful Friday here in Northwest Florida. I hope you enjoy your Friday wherever you're at. And don't ever forget, give more, save more, and live more.